All right, welcome back. So while we were on a little break, we had a couple people ask about energy vampires. Go for it.
First of all, I'd probably like to slap your healer that said that. Not really, but energy vampire. Life feeds on life, pure and simple. Life feeds on life. All right, energy feeds on energy, but that's not a negative thing. It's just what is. All right, so yes, we are all in one way or another an energy vampire. All right, I rely on Trish for certain things. She relies on me for certain things. If you come to see us as a healer, then you're relying on our energy as a healer to work with your energy. Life lives on life. That's what I mean by that. I really like the line from Attitudinal Healing that says, those of us who temporarily have more give to those who temporarily have less. And in the case of what you were asking about, where a healer said, you're draining my energy, you may have needed that energy source right now. Right? So I don't really consider that vampire. It's just I'm starving to death and there's a cookie. You know, now, normally when someone considers someone an energy vampire, one, very seldom are they, as the energy vampire, conscious of what they're doing. They're just a starving being looking for food, and they don't know how to connect to source. Right? By the way, all energy vamping pretty much ends the minute you realize I am permanently connected to source. There is no shortage of energy, and it's not me to begin with. Never was, never will be. Right? So that's kind of my take on energy vampires. Again, if you're zipping yourself up, if you're holding in your own integrity, your own sovereignty, you're going to feel someone who's hungry bounce against you, and you may say, okay, well, I don't choose to give that today, and you kind of energetically move them off. Or you may say, okay, that's fine, I understand where you are, allow me to offer a gift. But you modulate that gift.
But if you're conscious of it, you're also not offering your energy, much like teaching, much like Reiki or any healing modality. Sure. You're bringing in the energy of source.
Yes.
So I think one of the things that happens a lot of times are people who label somebody else an energy vampire. It's because, one, they're not good at all these things we just talked about. They don't have good boundaries. So they don't understand even the little visualizations we gave, they don't understand how to be sovereign in their own energy. Right. So they feel like someone who is in need is draining them. So they say, oh, energy vampire. And I think we too often, again, would rather blame someone else for our lack of energy or our lack of boundaries than to take personal responsibility for that.
It's easier to blame it out here.
So we would rather say, ooh, you just stole energy from me, or ooh, you just dumped your energy on me, blame the other person, than to go, I am a sovereign being. I can choose if I'm going to share my energy through source's energy through me or not. I'm a sovereign being. You can't dump stuff on me because it doesn't stick, I mean, you can try, but I'm a sovereign being and I choose to not allow that to influence me, or I choose to not allow your neediness to pull my energy. I think when we start blaming people and saying, ooh, you did, you are, you have, it becomes more of a reflection on who I am than on who you are. It's that you may be in need, as he said, of energy or attention or whatever, and I'm choosing to blame you for that, rather than set up a good boundary that says, I'm not giving all my energy. If I'm a healer, I may choose to use that universal life force and send that through. And that's the other thing is, we've had people say to us, I'm a healer and I just get so drained every time I do a healing. I just can't do it full time. And I understand you might have, you know, again, if you're an empath, you might not wanna do it full time, cause you wanna have your boundaries. But if you're getting drained every time you do a healing work, then you're trying to use your own energy
You're
to do the healing.
doing the healing.
You're not open
not
to source and bringing in universal life force and source to do the healing. Because when you have source energy flowing through you, you don't get tired, right? And your physical body may still be tired, you don't wanna do so many sessions, but your energy doesn't get depleted because you're constantly just a open hose.
And it may just be that your body's hungry afterwards because you are in essence running a lot of energy. Right? I'm one of those people that if I've got back to back clients, I won't eat. Right? I'm just going from client to client to client to client, and I get to the end of the day and I go, oh my Lord, I'm tired. Oh yeah, all I need is one, water, two, food. That's it. That's what I need.
Right, and the physical body can get tired if you do too much. But I think when someone else blames you for being something like an energy vampire, it's because they don't have good boundaries. And it can also be, I think sometimes if someone's in need, and we call them needy, we ask everybody that comes to our classes to do introspection, to grow inside yourself, so that you don't need to be around everybody or get energy from them or any of that, so that you are more self-contained and that you're more connected with source, and that's where your energy is coming from rather than other people.
Well, and one of the reasons I think it's very important that you understand that it's really about their unconscious, number one, and two, they're just needing energy and they don't know how to get it otherwise, is then you don't pass judgment.
Right.
Right?
Calling someone a name, even something like energy vampire, is being very, is just.
It's a judgment. It's that they're less than, or they're bad, or whatever. And the truth is, every single, number one, there's only one of us. There's only one being in the entire
universe,
everything,
cosmos.
omniverse, metaverse, whatever you want to call it. There's only one. So anything that I call you, I'm calling myself. Right? And if I want to be treated with love, I have to extend love. Right? And that's really why it's important that for me to say, there really aren't vampires. There are, however, people who are unconscious and still need to eat.
And need, right. Right.
So, is it okay to ask?
Sure.
Where energy, it's like the saying, right? Where the attention goes, the energy flows.
Yes.
So, when there are people that just are grabbing your attention because they are saying something, isn't it also when you focus on them, you're just giving that energy, right?
Yes.
And that could be draining if we're doing unconsciously or we don't have that much of energy, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. If your
So that's
gas
like
tank's a little low,
the media, the TV also
Yes.
can drain you like that, right? It's
Correct.
almost like sucking your energy because you're allowing it because your focus is in there, correct? Am I like?
yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and
Yes,
no.
this is what I want you to talk about.
Yeah.
So repeat the question. Is basically, so we know we're on the right page. That where your attention goes, your energy flows, is usually considered a saying that is, if you're always focused on the negative, then that's what you're going to get more of is negative because that's what you're focused on. If you're always focused on the positive, then that's what you're going to get more of because you're going to get more positive. So that's kind of what the saying is meaning. It's a little bit different than what we're talking about, but that's what they mean when they say that. So the question had to do with, if I'm giving you attention and we're having a conversation and my energy is going towards you and yours back to me, can that be draining? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, because I feel sometimes drained at work. When yes, I feel drained at work with certain interactions. But I think it's because, of course, I allow it because I'm giving my energy by focusing.
Yeah.
then how,
But you have to
if I'm not
focus.
centered, but I do have to focus because, you know, it's my boss that is talking, so I
Right,
need to.
right, so you
know,
have to focus
Right.
on what's
Exactly.
being said, right?
Yeah,
I think in this case, yes, your energy is flowing there because your attention is going there, but it may also be that you're dividing your attention. Alright, there may be a task that you're focused on, and from having been a boss, I had to be very conscious of this. I would walk up to someone and I had something I needed to say to them, but if they were very focused or intent, I didn't. Because I didn't wanna split their attention.
oh,
Alright, so if you're focused on your task and boss comes up here, and suddenly most of your energy is here and a small part turns over here, now you've split your energy flow. And one of the things that I had to learn, because our previous business was a tech business, is that tech people have to work differently than managerial people. Managerial people can have 30-minute increments. Tech people need 4 and 5 hour increments to focus on. And I use tech loosely. It could be bookkeeping, it could be anything that requires intense long-term attention to complete something.
okay.
So that's,
So once get drained because we're splitting ourselves.
you're splitting, and it's about pull it back, or simply put this aside and put the full attention to them. And what'll happen is when you move that full attention to it, they will probably actually feel heard and move on their way sooner.
Okay.
Alright, then you come back, and you may still feel a little, because you had to stop what you were doing and deal with this.
Yes.
But then it's about recentering, zipping up, all of that type of thing, and you'll find your energy recovers very quickly, and breathing helps. Take a deep breath, right?
Yeah, and that's it, and so it's like a yes and a no.
Yeah.
You know, it's a both and, not an either or of that one.
It's interesting with that, since you brought that particular statement up, energy flows where consciousness goes is really how I originally heard it. But even those who teach that forget that there's a flip side to that. Normally they're simply doing the teaching that if I'm focused on negative, as Trish said, I get negative. If I'm focused on positive, I get positive. But how often have you heard people who are out there fighting against evil, alright, or casting out demons? And I'm not talking religion, I'm talking about metaphysics here too. Well, guess where all their attention is? What are they giving energy to?
Evil.
Evil.
Yeah.
Demons.
Something that they consider negative is what they're giving the energy to, which reinforces that it's there, which makes it stronger, which makes you feel weaker, or you have to struggle to fight, or blah, blah, blah. Put your intention, your consciousness on what you actually want present in your life. You come to my breath group, so you know that I have done this talk long and over, that your intention needs to move you forward. What do you want in life, not what do you not want? We don't go in reverse as humans well. So thank you.
Yeah. So the boundary, not the because I don't like to call it boundary, but that bubble of light, let's say that, for example, I can put, would it work with like intention? Like I want like a productive, loving, collaborative day.
Yeah.
And then put sort of that intention before I go to work.
Yes. It's a very,
Does
it's
that
actually
make a
important
difference?
to do, yes.
It's okay.
Important to do. That does not mean your entire day is going to be loving
No.
and peaceful and productive. We have all sorts of flow through them.
Yeah.
But yes, that is setting that intent for the day. That is bringing your consciousness to that. And during the day when you get disrupted, oh yeah, bring your consciousness back to that again. I want to be productive. I want to be peaceful. I want cooperation. And what it does is it sets your mind, and specifically your subconscious mind, to looking for all the ways that that's what's happening. Right? And not that they weren't there before, you just didn't notice them,
Yeah.
because you were,
Because it makes, for me, I've noticed that it makes a difference when I do that intention.
makes a
Mhm.
huge difference.
Yeah,
Right.
that's cool.
Cause it does help us what we wanna focus on,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. Alright, any other questions?
Anything else?
We're good?
This is your time. Now, hold your peace till next week.
Ah, yeah, so I think we're good, but
Alright.
it really is about how to live as an empath,
Mhm.
how to have good boundaries, permeable boundaries, but good boundaries, how to know what is your energy and what is someone else's energy. And if it's someone else's, you don't need to take it on. And learning how to do that. And then also learning your limits. Like if scary TV shows or movies bother you, don't go watch them. Cause it's just a limit you have, and know your personal limits.
Yes?
Yes, well, how do you really find out what is yours and what is not? Because you get triggered, if I get triggered, it's because something within me has that frequency, right? That I need to work.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you really know by asking the question, how do you feel what is yours and what is not?
It's kind of practice,
Mhm.
to be
Okay.
honest with you.
Okay.
It's practice.
I'm gonna make it a little, yes, it's practice. For me, if I'm working with a client's gone, and 5 minutes later, I'm still feeling it, it's mine,
Okay.
okay? If 30 seconds later, I'm feeling it and it passes, it wasn't mine to begin with.
Okay.
Alright, but if it's still there, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, tomorrow, it's not theirs, it's mine.
Okay.
It
Then it's
triggered
just about-
something inside of
yeah.
me that I have to go dig and look and go, what's this about? Okay, got it. I
And I'm
forgive
gonna-
myself, move on.
I'm gonna say for most of us on the healing journey, especially if we're just getting started on the healing journey, it's probably all yours.
Okay.
And you have to look at that and you have to go, okay, then I have this wound, I have this spot, I have this sore, I have these emotions, I need to find a productive way to deal with them. And then that is therapy, breath work, personal growth stuff, journaling, all the various things that you learn about in personal growth. So when you're first learning about this concept, that even as an empath, a lot of it is probably your own.
Yeah.
And then as you start to be more sovereign and you go, like I said, I know that I'm not an anxious person, so if anxiety comes up, I know that's probably not mine, and I need to either pass it off, or I need to say, is there something inside of me I'm not aware of that makes me anxious? No, it's not about me, it's something I picked up.
Yeah.
So it's learning more about what is true for you,
Mhm.
learning more about yourself and what's true for you as well. That's that personal growth.
And then the empath that you mentioned, when you can empath the sickness of others,
Mhm.
Especially when you are a child.
Mhm.
So if as an adult, you observe that you have similar issues that your mother,
Mhm.
how can you end that?
Mhm.
Because it could be, I do not know if it's my own stuff or it's just that I picked it up and own it.
Mhm.
How do you detach if you have, let's say, owned or picked up something? Or not detach, or maybe not continue that path?
Mhm.
When you're talking about physiological things, it's a little more challenging.
Okay.
One, because you may have a genetic predisposition to what mom had,
Mhm.
but you may or may not have gotten the switch flipped to actually have it. Does that make sense?
I think so.
Alright, so if the switch has been flipped, whether it was by nature or by circumstance or whatever, then it becomes a little more challenging to simply say, that was mom's, I don't need this in my life. If you've caught that pattern early enough, you can turn the switch off, basically, and there's ways to do that as a healer, but tonight's a little short to go into all that, so. But,
I think the more you know about who you are,
Right.
the more you know about who am I, what is my personality, what are my emotions, what are my tendencies, who am I as a sovereign being, the more you're able to recognize things that are yours.
Yeah.
Right? So, my clothes. I know in my closet which clothes are mine. And if someone were to
Why
walk
do you
in.
wear my shirts?
Sometimes yours are mine. We're married.
Oh,
Sometimes
yeah,
yours is
yeah,
mine
yeah.
anyway. But I know in my closet what clothes are mine, and I know that's me, that's mine. And if somebody were to walk in and hang up a shirt that wasn't mine, I would recognize it, right?
Yeah.
And that's just because I know my clothes. And if that shirt didn't look anything like my shirts, and it looked totally different and not like a shirt I'd ever wear, I'd go, where'd that come from? That's not mine. It's that same insight. You just learn how to apply that to emotions or physiology or whatever. It's the same concept that the more you know what's in your closet, the more you know who you really are, the more you can quickly recognize what isn't yours.
Right.
Right? So, I can use the example of a shirt or shoes or pants or whatever, but if somebody were to walk in my house and set something down that I know isn't mine, I would quickly walk in and recognize, oh, that's not mine. How'd that get here?
Or in your case, if the dry cleaners gives you a blouse that isn't yours.
Right. That's not mine. How did that get here, right? And then I can either send it back or get rid of it or whatever, but I know really, I can identify it quickly. And it's because I know my stuff. And that's really this. Emotions, physical, everything. This is my stuff. Good, bad, happy, sad.
Whatever.
Angry, whatever, but I know what is my stuff. So it's not like always pleasant and happy, but I know what is my stuff. So I have to own that, be aware of that, and then when I see something that's totally not mine, I go, well, where'd that come from? Maybe I know, maybe I don't, but it's not mine, and I can send it off.
Yeah. I like the tornado.
Yeah.
It works
I'm
well.
gonna be use that.
Yeah.
We can use it at work, right?
Yeah, just in your own
Use it
head.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Just visualizing, use it anywhere you go, your car, your work, your home, whatever.
That's cool.
All right, you ready? You done?
I think
Thank
we're
you
done.
very
Thank you.
much. Thank you.